In terms, Leland, welcome. It's good to see you. In terms of, it's such a huge area of the world and such, so many people, Leland. What percentage are we talking about that are in strict lockdown right now? Just for starters, let's talk about that.
Well, it seems to change, day by day. But there's been estimates that somewhere 20–30%, whether you're talking about, total GDP, whether you're talking about chunks of the population is a little bit different. But in any given day, you have a sizable chunk of the Chinese economy under lockdown. And the arteries between these cities shut down. So you have a very difficult time having any type of economic growth in this environment.
In a Western political system, the economy and the tenure or the stability or the security of the leader is dependent on the economy. Sometimes we think that way about China. It's like, well, President Xi really wants to get China's GDP back to, some of the historical numbers that we've seen. And we think that could inform his decisions on this policy, but I don't know if it does. He doesn't have to worry about his job, or is it at a point where he might now? We never thought he would before, but those words have been spoken that he needs to step down at some of these protests.
Yeah, I don't think we're at that point right now. Obviously, you need economic growth for the country to thrive, and if the country doesn't thrive, Xi Jinping will be under political duress over time. But right now, with the virus is seen as a much more substantial issue than the current protests. The protests could be contained. The virus is very scary. And if you have 1 million deaths on your watch, then that's a legacy issue for Xi Jinping and for the party. So I know everybody is just chomping at the bit to call a reopening, to anticipate this reopening, which is always just a day away. But it's very unlikely we're moving in that direction, despite the fact the party's going to have to be responsive in some ways, talking up either a timeline for reopening or some easing of measures like family separation. But the idea that that protests are going to flip this, I think it's very, very unlikely.
Leland, you just mentioned 1 million deaths. That sounds like an incredibly low figure. I mean, we had 1 million deaths, and we've got less than maybe a fifth of the population size that they have.
Right.
We've got a better medical system. We have better vaccines.
Yeah, the death numbers that I've heard have been a lot higher than that. But when I try to present this, I try to present the most conservative figure to say, look, even if the numbers are significantly what we're hearing from all the experts, instead of talking about 3 million or 4 million, you're talking about 1 million or 800,000. These are still politically unacceptable numbers for Xi Jinping, who spent the last 3 years telling the world that China's COVID-0 response was better than the West because he's been able to minimize the number of deaths. So even if the low numbers are correct and not the high numbers or the middle numbers, this is still a major political problem for the party.
I guess what I was getting at is what's more important for President Xi, a strong economy or power, in the power of the CCP to remain in power?
It'll always be power.
Always.
In the past, economic growth was seen as part of the party's contribution to the social compact. We will provide you high levels of growth, and as a result, keep us around. Now it's seen a little bit differently. The social compact has changed. We're going to make China stronger through slower, healthier growth. We're going to, distribute the wealth more evenly. But it's still all comes down to power, and they can't let the economy fall off a cliff, and there are worries about that right now. But power is going to be the consideration, and the medium and long-term path to maintaining that power is going to always be more important.